Hello! Welcome to another week with author Ejamie. So, my webcam is being weird, so unfortunately I'm having to do this on my laptop's webcam, which is not as great, but yeah, so that's what we're working with today. um, so, for this week, today I'm going to visit my sister. So we're gonna go hang out there, and probably gonna. I think we might wrap up Vikings today, because there were only about I think 4 or 5 episodes left of the series. We were in season 6, so I think we're gonna wrap that up today, and we might watch some more Stranger Things with the kitties. Maybe because they have karate today. So, not sure if we're going to get to watch an episode or two of that, but probably. Um, so, going to my sister's today, and I'm thinking tomorrow I might go. To the thrift store, or I know that one of these days I want to go and find another free little library, because I really liked finding one last week. So we might go search another one out this week. Um, and payday is Friday. So, yeah. I think tomorrow we might be going to the thrift store, and or tomorrow we'll probably do the free little library, and Friday we'll probably do the thrift store. And I'm looking into buying a recording sort of camera, because I liked the first webcam that I had. It was a Logitech. Um, I liked that, but then all of a sudden it just stopped working, and it just there would be sound, but the picture would be black, and I don't know why that happened. I am not a technically inclined person. Um, yeah, I don't know why that happened, but let me get my coffee from my lovely Game of Thrones mug. Um, and so, uh, reading updates. Um, I DNF'd Unforgettable by Roseanne Bittner, which made me sad because I love Roseanne Bittner. But I DNF'd it for reasons, which I will get into when I do my October wrap up. Um, I had started. I had started some Nora Roberts' Song of the West, and this is old school Nora Roberts. This is 1982, and DNF'd this one for reasons, and I'm willing to give her a pass because it was the 80s, but yeah, I DNF'd that one. I am so close to finishing Elizabeth Elizabeth Gaskell's Ruth. I have just that little bit left. I'm so close to finishing. Um, so yeah, that jackass Bellingham came back and basically threatened Ruth, um, and said if she didn't agree to become if she didn't want to become his side piece again, his hoe again, that he would basically that he would make that if she became his hoe, then he would make sure that Leonard, their son, got this like grand education and all this, and he pretty much gave her like the vibe of like if she didn't, then like he would destroy her and like like ruin her again, I guess. Um, and Jemima, who was starting to not be friends with our Ruth anymore because the guy Farquhar. I'm not good with the guy that she was who had been pursuing her. Finally gave up after she was mean to him repeatedly and started looking at Ruth. And Jemima didn't like that he was starting to look at Ruth. Um, so she, of course, was taking it out on Ruth because as women were supposedly uh, inclined to blame the woman when the man either like strays or cheats or is not interested, as opposed to like blaming the man um, because it's always the woman's fault, and uh, we can't blame the man because we want the man in our lives because we're girls and we can't possibly stand on our own. Unlike our Ruth, who basically told Bellingham, "I wouldn't ask you to spit if my eyebrows were on fire," and uh, definitely turned down his indecent proposal. But Jemima was like mad at Ruth and found out from a woman that Ruth is not so much the widow that she's pretending to be and was actually uh, seduced by our. I don't think the lady mentioned by who, but yeah, and that Leonard is actually illegitimate. So Jemima knows this, and that made me very nervous because at the point that she found this out, Jemima was mad at Ruth, and I thought that like, oh, she was gonna blow the whole charade. She was gonna rat Ruth out, but surprisingly, no. She was actually like felt bad for Ruth and was like moved by the story, even though the woman who was telling it was sort of like, oh, the scandal, and she was like, she was ruined, and she like was like sinful because she went with the guy and let him seduce her and let him use her. And but I liked how like Jemima was actually like didn't agree with the woman and was sort of like felt bad for Ruth and decided that she wasn't going to use it to destroy Ruth's life. Ended up coming out anyway because Bradshaw, the worst person who could have found out, her boss, found out, and I don't know how. That has not been discovered yet. We had a scene with him and Bellingham, but there was no mention of Bellingham telling him. So I don't know if it was Bellingham that told him. Um, they were just talking some politics. There was politics going on, and then Bradshaw came home and he was pissed. So he um, basically threw Ruth and little Leonard out. And well, Leonard was with the Bensons, but he threw Ruth out, and that's sort of where we are. That's sort of where we are right now, and the story is almost over. And yeah, I've been like thoroughly, thoroughly enjoying it. Um, Very much looking forward to finishing it, so that then I can start annotating The Bronze Horseman by Paulina Simons. And yeah, so that's sort of the plan for this week. I finished editing Blood Vows Book 4, Will's Story, Choice, so today I'm going to give that to the editor. And yeah, so hopefully have that out for you guys sometime this month. We're looking at October. We're in October and we're looking at it to release the fourth book in the Blood Vows series. So yes, that's going to be the plan for today, heading over to my sister's. And then for the week, we are not really like going anywhere, sort of, unless you count like looking for the free library, because that'll be somewhere new. But yeah, that's sort of the plan for this week. Yeah, so I guess I will talk to you guys later. I'll film some like at my sister's, and you know. Oh, I also wanted to let you guys know I am so in love. I am so in love with these dried mangoes. Yo, they are so good that I got from the Dollarama. They are so, so good. They're from Fruit Tropic, dried mangoes, and they're from Vietnam. So they're so good. I tried them for the first time yesterday, and oh my god, I will definitely be buying more of this. Thank you, Dollarama. So yeah, that's gonna be.
Hello. Hi, sweetie.
But I'm kind of upset because it leaves on a cliffhanger and it doesn't got renewed. So we don't know
Season 5 of Las Vegas? Oh, hello. Hi, sweetie. Hello. Belle.
The kids are very excited to watch Stranger Things with you.
Yeah, I know.
Test it first. Is this real? And
Yeah.
then it's like, let me get this. It's so
Watching
sweet.
some Vikings with the sister.
Love you, Uba, even more.
And the precious lemon drop Uma's bringing his girl water. And, for the baby. Okay, that's important too.
Where's family?
Oh. So after finding the boy full of cotton, this dude is breaking into, Hopper is breaking into the facility.
The lab.
The lab.
Because he's cool like that.
Hopefully, he is not about to die. Who's a good girl? Who's a good girl? Are you a good girl? Are you such a good girl? Oh, yes you are. You're such a good girl, Belle.
Hello! So, about to head out on my walk, and my webcam decided to start working today, so that's great. Yesterday, I don't know why, like, today it started off with the laptop camera, but it let me change it to my webcam. Yesterday, for some reason, was not letting me change it. I didn't know why. But yeah, so this is much better. I like this much better. But yeah, I am looking at like a sort of like external. Well, the webcam is an external thing, but like a video recording camera to get. So that might happen. But as long as like this one's still working, fine, great. But if it's going to be glitchy, then I want to have the camera, or I might get another Logitech webcam because I really liked that one. It worked for like a long time until it just, for some reason, it stopped working. Like the audio would work, but there'd be no picture. I don't know why that happened. So yesterday went to my sister's and it was lovely. We finished Vikings, the show Vikings. We finished watching season 6, which was the last season, and I'm gonna go more like in depth when I do a review sort of for the show, when I do my what to watch during Droughtlander. I'm gonna do one for Vikings. And if you don't know, Droughtlander is the space of time between Outlander seasons. And I usually like to do a video or two about shows that you can watch while you're waiting for Outlander to come back. And the fans have termed this time Droughtlander. So yeah, I'm going to do a video for Vikings. And I did, like after we finished the show, I played Frack, Marry, Kill Vikings edition with my sister. But we didn't film it because she doesn't like to be on camera. She likes to make videos, not be in videos. And in case you're new here, she is Julia LeBlanc, Oshie of the Fantastic Outlander videos. But I am going to do sort of my own. I will be making a video of myself playing it. Frack, Marry, Kill, the Vikings edition. So today, I'm going to go on my walk, going to seek out another free little library. I looked one up, and there's one actually close to me again. Like the last week we went to the one on Margaretta. This week there's one on in like the opposite direction on McRoberts, and this is in Toronto. So gonna head out to that one, and I also want to go to the thrift store as well. But yeah, so that's sort of the plan for today. I picked out the book that I was going to be reading for my work, like commute thing, like during breaks and stuff. I ended up DNFing, and that was the Nora Roberts book that I mentioned yesterday. And so I picked another one, and it's going to be Teresa Medeiros, who I usually like, The Pleasure of Your Kiss. That's there. Does it have an insert? No, it doesn't. But yeah, that's what I'm going to be reading. The weather is like really nice again today. So yesterday it was in like the 20s, and today it's in the 20s again. So if I find a park, I might sit and read for a bit. Maybe sort of like want to take advantage of any like good days that we have where I can do that, because tomorrow it's going to be 10 degrees. So going to be a little chillier. So yeah. I'm so close to being finished. Ruth by Elizabeth Gaskell. I'm so close to being finished. There's just that little bit left. It's so like this book should be like, it's titled Ruth. It should also be like subtitled Mr. Benson is the preciousest and the most awesome, because everybody pretty much knows now that Ruth is not the merry widow that everybody thought she was, that she committed the sin of being a 16-year-old girl who was seduced by an assbutt and abandoned. So apparently that's some grave, grave sin that she did. And like, I get it, the whole premarital sex thing, and it's the 1800s, and just, I get it. However, it just grates on my nerves, like how much she's like beating herself up about it. And she was even like considering like abandoning her little boy so that he wouldn't be tainted by having a mother like her. And Mr. Benson, God bless him, convinced her to stay and like not leave him, and that he was going to stand by her. His sister Faith, who I have gone back and forth about, she's standing up for her too. Jemima, who for a second there got a little weird when she was jealous about the suitor that she kept treating like crap, started looking at Ruth in like a new hello, how you doing? and Jemima didn't like that. So for a while she was hating on Ruth, which was stupid. But the stupid fog has cleared, and she is like all about, standing by Ruth's side, and it's beautiful. And I'm so glad that that Ruth has these people around her. Yeah, so like we're almost done, and I'm like wondering like what's going to be happening in these last few pages. Yeah, so that's sort of where we are. Gonna head out now on my walk. Gonna look for that free little library, and excuse me. Yeah, so that's the plan, and I guess I will talk to you guys later and see if and what I pick up later. Hello. So just got back from my walk, and um, it was comfortable. Uh, did not get to stop at a park and read because for every few minutes or so it would rain a little bit. Like not really like a drizzle, but more sort of like just like a few like drops here and there. Like I don't know if it's like threatening to storm or what, but it would just sort of rain a little bit and then just stop. So didn't really get to like go to a park or anything because that wouldn't be really any point because everything would probably be like a little wet. Um, so found the little library that's on McRoberts. If you're here in Toronto, I figured that I would sort of like name sort of where they were, because if you're in Toronto and you would like to sort of hunt them down and stuff, you can kind of figure out where they are. But basically what I just did, I just Googled like Toronto Free Little Library, and there's like a big ass list of them, which makes me so happy to know that like I still have so many to go to. So the Margaretta one was better. This one did not really have much of anything, as you'll see in the clip. But still, I felt good about leaving a few books there just to sort of pump it up a little. So that was still nice. I think I'm glad that I found it, and hopefully people will like drop off more books there and stuff. But then went to my thrift store. I could say that I went there for the purpose of trying to, hunt down some winter boots, because I did do that. I looked for winter boots, and I found some potential ones, which I might get next week if they're still there. Um, but I went to get books because that's what we do here. So let me show you what. Oh, first, but after I went to the thrift store, I went to the cafe here and got my cheese danishes, which they had 3 left. So I grabbed the 3 because I want to grab them while they're still there. So I'll have one of those for later for my nighttime snack with my tea, depending on if it's chills down. I think it's probably going to cool down a bit because tomorrow's going to be 10 degrees. So, but let me show you what I got from the thrift store. So, To be fair, I got these from the thrift store, where they have the if you buy 4 books, you get 1 book free. So altogether, you can get like 5 books, and one of them will be free. And I went there specifically because I had points to use. So again, I will bang this drum all day long. If you are going to a store that you go to all the time, like I go to my shoppers all the time. I go to this thrift store all the time. Get their points card because it's worth it. It's worth it. Because if you're going shopping there anyway, might as well eventually get some money off things. Why would you not want to do that? Oh, I don't want the government finding out my information. I don't want the store finding out my information. Take off the tinfoil hat. Seriously. Dumbass. So, now that all the people who are mad have left, let me show you what I got from the thrift store. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try. We shall see how this goes. And it's not so much that, like, it's a big boy, because it's a big boy. But if you've been on this channel for like any stretch of time, you know that I like big books, and I cannot lie. However, big books that are like classic literature and like War and Peace, which I know a lot of people are intimidated by, myself included, we shall see. We shall see. Because, oh, this one, yeah, this one intimidates me. But they also had The Brothers Karamazov there by Dostoevsky, and I do want to get that one too. They have like the regular fiction section, and they have like the literature section. So I always like to get majority from like the regular fiction section or like the romance section, and then like I want to get like at least 1 book from the literature section. Words, where are you? Next, I have one that I have heard a lot about, and I've heard a lot of people cry about and say that this book hurt them. Yeah. So I will be diving into this one. Pray for me. It's A Little Life by Hanya Yanagiara. Hanya Yanagiara. I'm sorry, but yeah. So, ooh. The next one is one I have also heard about, but I've heard only like good things about. And mind you, I've heard good things about the first 2, just that they're very painful. This one specifically is like very painful. So, next one is My Brilliant Friend by Elena Ferrante. I have heard only good things. Only good things about this. And, no, not finally. Next one is The Virgin's Tale by Sherry Smith, a novel of ancient Rome. Now, I had not heard about this book. This one I had not heard about, but I know it's about a one of the Vestal virgins, who sort of like, as long as they kept the flame alive, there was this organization of sort of these virgin kind of nuns necessarily kind of thing, and as long as they kept this flame burning, then like Rome would be safe, and they had to remain pure and chaste, and your girl didn't. So she has to suffer the consequences. Yeah, so really look forward to that one. Especially because I remember the miniseries Empire with Santiago Cabrera, Jonathan Cake, and Emily Blunt. And that is such a fantastic miniseries. I loved it so much. It's sort of a gladiator-esque type of feel to it. And Emily Blunt played this gorgeous Vestal virgin who falls in love with Santiago Cabrera. And if you look for it because it's so delicious. It's so delicious. It's all about like the death of Caesar, and Santiago Cabrera plays Octavius, his nephew, who has to like take over, and it's wonderful. It's wonderful. And the last one, Tea Time for the Firefly, and this cover is just beautiful, beautiful, and it's about a young girl in India in 1943. And you are not new. If you are not new here, you know that I love my novels set in either India or set like in the Jewish faith. Yeah. So I'm by Shauna Patel. So really, really looking forward to that. That cover's just beautiful. So that's what I got. So for today, for the rest of the day, I'm going to make my lunch. I'm going to make some chicken and some fries probably. And then I'm going to edit one of my either Supernatural, the YouTube version for episode 10, was it? Because I don't think I got to do it last time. I don't think I did. Because let me just double check here. Because I can't remember. No, I hadn't. I hadn't tried it. I hadn't done it yet because I wanted to try and upload the Patreon version. But I think I'm behind on the Supernatural reactions for the Patreon version. I think I'm trying to upload episode 6, but something's going on where like it won't let me upload to Google, my Google Drive, and share the link from there. For some reason, I don't understand what's happening, but I'm having difficulties. But yeah, so I think I'm going to do that. And then, hopefully today, if not today, then at least tomorrow, finish Ruth by Elizabeth Gaskell, because I really want to get started on annotating The Bronze Horseman by Paulina Simons. I really want to get started on that. And then spend the rest of the night watching the first movie of the Strike series by Robert Galbraith, also known as J.K. Rowling. And what is his name again? Tom Burke and Holiday Granger, and they solve crimes. And yeah, I know I have a few friends who really, really love the Strike books, and so that's what we'll be doing for the rest of the day. This set has the first 3 movies, and I have Lethal White waiting on another DVD back there. So that's what we'll be doing for the rest of the night. And yep. So I guess that'll be it for this video, for this clip here, and I will talk to you guys next time. So Ruth is dead. I have about 10 or so pages to go. I know I'm going to finish this today, and I'm very much looking forward to finishing this today because I cannot wait to get started on annotating the Bronze Horseman by Paulina Simon. But so okay, the shit hits the fan. Everybody finds out that Ruth is a dirty whore and has scandalized herself by allowing her 16-year-old self to be seduced by a man and then abandoned and pregnant. But she gets lucky enough, like she's looking for work and nobody will hire her because she's a dirty whore. And she finally gets lucky enough to get a job as a nurse, and sort of then a typhus outbreak happens, and she basically risks her life to help all the sick people, and kind of what I did not want to happen happened, but Elizabeth Gaskell did something where I'm sad that Ruth is dead, but she did it in a way that made it a little bit more palatable to me. I'm not raging as much as I would have been if Ruth had just died she wasn't trying to regain her reputation, but if Ruth had died for regaining her reputation by helping all these people who had typhus. Because that is sort of what happens. And everybody she's helping the poor and all this, and I like how it was made clear that they knew that Ruth had this scandal happen. They knew that Ruth was a dirty whore, but it didn't matter. It didn't matter to them because of the way that she was so selfless and giving and kind and all that. And there's this wonderful scene where her son Leonard learns about what happened. Ruth eventually tells him because she wants him to be prepared because being the son of a dirty whore, he could have some hardships in life. And he's young enough to understand, and it is kind of hard for him because he still loves his mother, thank goodness, but he is feeling ashamed of what happened, but he still loves his mother, but he doesn't know how to deal with what he's feeling, so he has a hard time of it. But then when he's hearing all these people say all these wonderful things about his mother, and he sort of feels like he's allowed to be proud of her, and so he's all proud when he's talking about that's my mother, she's the one that she was the nurse that saved you all, and that was really, really lovely. And then we hear that Bellingham has typhus. Bellingham is sick. And Ruth because she's still, as much as she wants nothing to do with him and turned his indecent proposal down, there's still that part of her that loves him. There's still that teeny part of her that loves him, and also the fact that he's the father of her son, and she can't, if she can save him, she cannot, in her good conscience, let him die. So she goes to Bellingham, and she does save him, but all this whole time, when she was like saving these poor people, and I was like, oh god, she's gonna get it, and she's gonna die, and that's gonna be like, oh, she martyred herself for them, and like she died saving them, and it was like that would have pissed me off. That would have pissed me off, because it would have been like the only way that she got her redemption was by dying. But I like how Elizabeth Gaskell kind of tweaked it a little and made it that she caught it from Bellingham. She caught it saving him. Which could piss me off, could be angry that, like, this son of a bitch did all this stuff to her, made her a dirty whore in the eyes of society, and she dies saving his ass. But I didn't kind of see it like that. I saw it as kind of, she had already had her respect back. She already had it. And it was, sort of became this, after everything that he had caused in her life to happen, she still saved him. And when she catches typhus and dies, she already had her, in the eyes of society, she already had the respect and her reputation restored. So, I'm not happy that she died, but I'm happier about it than if she had died while still saving, like, the initial group of people. And the thing, I hate Bellingham, but I'm kind of hoping that the last 10 pages are going to be what I hope they're going to be. I don't know. I will definitely be finishing this today. But, and like, I hate Bradshaw, I hate Bellingham, but I despise Bradshaw. I mean, if you put the two men in front of me and I had to kill one of them, I'd kill Bradshaw. Because he is such a piece of hypocritical, like, I'm not sure, hypocritical is not the right word. Judgmental. Because I wouldn't say he's a hypocrite. Because something happens with his son. And it turns out that the son forged his name to get at Mr. Benson's money. Which, oh my god, Mr. Benson is like the preciousest thing. I love, like, next to Ruth, Mr. Benson is my favorite character. But, yeah, so Bradshaw's son forges his signature to get at Mr. Benson's money. And Bradshaw finds out about this. And the reason I say he's not a hypocrite is because he cuts off his son. He, like, disowns his son. And he's just, and he goes on about, there's actually a line where he's, oh, Jesus, let me see if I can, I wanted to read it. This is Bradshaw talking about how, trying to, like, live a good moral life, also known as being a judgmental ass, but if there were more people like me and fewer like you, he's talking to Mr. Benson, If there were more people like me and fewer like you, there would be less evil in the world, sir. It's your sentimentalists that nurse up sin. I hate him. I hate him so much. Because it's not like, Mr. Benson is like, no, we shouldn't condemn sinners. We should try and help them overcome the sin and help them through towards their, like, redemption. And Bradshaw's basically like, freaking Mad King from Game of Thrones. Burn them all. Burn them all. Burn all the sinners. They all deserve to go to hell. There's no redemption for them. They are sinners. They belong in hell, and there's nothing, like, it's... Mr. Benson, in my opinion, represents genuine godliness and what religion at its best should be. Mr. Bradshaw is like a Republican. He is just judgmental, and he thinks that just when you sin, that's it, you're condemned. And it's just, there's no redemption, there's no forgiveness, there's no mercy. Bradshaw's religion is like it's a false piety. It's just for appearance's sake. Like a Republican. All of you Republicans who have, like, turned away the video, good riddance to you. So, I don't like Bellingham, but I hate Bradshaw. I hate him so much. So, yeah, 10 more pages to go, and then I'm very excited to get started annotating The Bronze Horseman by Paulina Simons, which will be a reread for me, but I think it'll be fun because I will be giving away that annotated copy. So, looking forward to doing that. Today, gonna go on my walk in a bit, and gonna head out to a bookstore. I've Googled, because the Book Exchange was the one that I tried to go the last month, and it was actually closed, which was freaking annoying. But I looked it up, and it says that it's open, but it said that it was open in the last time too. And then there was a sign on the door saying we're going to be closed until bleh. But I found that also close by that area, and these are two that are, like, closer to where I live than I thought they were. For some reason, when I went the last time, I went, like, the long way, so I thought it was farther away from me than it actually is. The Book Exchange, I can walk there. It's like a half-an-hour walk. And then closer than that is this other bookstore that I didn't know existed in Toronto until I saw a booktuber had gone there in Toronto, and it's called Type Books. And it's actually closer to me than the Book Exchange. So, it's 11:30 right now, and the Book Exchange, it says it opens at 12. So, I think, even though Type is closer, I want to go to the Book Exchange, just because I've been trying to go to that bookstore for, like, over a month now. So yeah. And on the way, I have to drop off some stuff at the library. I watched the first movie in the CB Strike series. Loved it. The first one was called The Cuckoo's Calling, and it's based on the first book by Robert Galbraith, also known as J.K. Rowling, who, the book, she uses the other name for her books, but yet in the credits for at least the first movie, she's listed as the executive producer as J.K. Rowling, and I wonder why she did that. Like, not, well, I guess because Robert Galbraith is her pseudonym, but yeah, so I figured, yeah, that's why, probably. J.K. Rowling is her real name. So yeah, the first movie, loved it so much. The cinematography was beautiful, just the mood of it, and it's about a supermodel who is murdered. And Strike is a PI, and right now he's sort of in between assistants, and Robin, played by Holiday Granger, she of the fantastic series The Borgias, comes on sort of as his temp and proves herself to be indispensable, and they work like wonderfully together. And so by the end of it, he basically she's like, I am good at this, I want to stay on, and he's like, okay. So now they're kind of partners. Wonderful chemistry between the two of them. She has a fiance, but I don't care. I ship it already. I ship them already. They're so, like, he is such a freaking hot mess. He's an amputee. He has his leg was shot off during the war. So he has a, not a, is it a prosthetic leg? Well, he has a mechanical leg. um, and he has some issues with alcohol. He likes him a pint. And yeah, he's just a hot mess, but he's a very good PI. And I look forward to watching the other two movies and Lethal White that I also have in a separate DVD. And yeah, it makes me want to read the books now. It makes me want to read the books now, which is the hill that I will die on. As you know, if there is a book to movie adaptation, watch the movie first. Watch the movie first. Always. Always, always, always. Yeah, so looking forward to watching the second. I'm not sure how many I'll get to watch today, but at least the second one, called The Silkworm. And going to be editing last week's weekly vlog. And if I have time, I'm not sure, I might get started on day 2 of the Supernatural Convention. Editing that. Yeah. And I also have to go to the grocery store because payday. And I'm thinking of picking up either some meat or fish, or some meat and fish. And yeah, trying to figure out what else that I need. I might have to make a list. But yeah, sort of that's the plan for the rest of the day. Finishing this. I only have like 10 pages to go. I have loved this book. I have loved this book so much. Jane Eyre is still my favorite. My favorite classic that I've read so far. Jane Eyre. It's still my favorite because this one had a bit of a dry lull once Ruth kind of got settled in the house. And we've sort of had a little bit of too much of Bradshaw and like Mr. Benson like talking to like other people and scenes with other people. We had a little bit too much of that than I would have liked. Farquhar, Farky, who talk about another hypocrite. Talk about a hypocrite. He, once he finds out all this stuff that happened like with Ruth, he automatically is like, oh, Jemima is so much more the better woman, and oh, now I'm looking at her with like new eyes again. And I'm so glad that I never let anyone know about my growing feelings for Ruth. And basically he's like, oh, I dodged a bullet with that dirty heart. Let me look at Jemima again. And Jemima had one slip up when she was jealous of Ruth because Farky was looking at her. So, but she quickly gets over that and realizes that her love for Ruth sort of overcomes any sort of like jealousy, and she stands by Ruth when the shit hits the fan. And that, like, I loved that. Jemima totally redeemed herself in my eyes. So much so that I'm like, when she like accepts Sparky's suit back, like when she accepts that he wants to be with her. I'm like, no, you deserve better than this hypocrite piece of crap. Yeah, I did not like him. He was, yeah, no. But they end up getting married and having a baby. Um, but yeah, so that's sort of what happened with them. So yeah, for the rest of the day, gonna go on my walk now. Going to go to the grocery store, go to the bookstore, um, come back, edit my weekly vlog from last week, and might edit Supernatural Convention Day 2. Going to watch the Silkworm, the second book in the CB Strike series, and finish up Ruth. Finish up 10 more pages. I really hope what I hope happens happens. R.I.P. Ruth. Talk to you guys later. So just got back from my walk and happy to report that the bookstore, the book exchange, was open. And I did see the bookstore type books on the way. And so now I know that there's 2 of them there within walking distance. And yes, type books was actually closer, but the plan was to go to the book exchange, and I just wanted to go to make sure that it was open, and it was, and I got some books. But first, and yeah, it was a nice walk, because it's like 10 degrees, but like I have my sweater, and I had my coat, and I was, it was nice. It was like cool and just comfortable, and I was just like, can we please have this all the time? And sometimes the sun would come out, and yeah, it was just lovely. The neighborhood, that neighborhood is like really good too. It's called the Junction here in Toronto, and there are like a lot of like restaurants and like kitschy shops and like that kind of stuff. And it's what my memory of Kensington Market used to be. Because if you remember last week, I went to Kensington Market, and I was a little underwhelmed. I think the Junction is a better neighborhood, in my opinion. In my opinion, there's yeah, there's like, and then there's another bookstore in there called Pandemonium, and it's a bookstore slash like record store. So, and that's like within walking distance too. So I've had all this, like, yeah, more places to spend my money, all within walking distance. Oh boy, yeah. So I spent some money, but first, on my way back, I had to go to the grocery store to pick up some stuff. So ended up picking up a few extra things that I wasn't intending on, but realized that yeah, I should get them because I could use them and kind of like, they were kind of like staples that I should have anyway. So I'm going to do the grocery haul first. And so first, let me do this actually, because I was not expecting to get my grapes, but they still have them. So I was very, very happy and to get my favorite grapes. Y'all know. So I got, oh, it smells so good. They smell so good. Let me just put that there. I was very happy that I was still able to get my grapes. And what was on my list was I needed garbage bags. So got that, and that's the store brand garbage bags. Over. You set that down. I needed to get some cheese. So again, store brand cheese. It's the same as Kraft, okay? It's exactly the same. It tastes the same. Yeah. If you're buying Kraft, if you're paying like $2, $3 extra dollars because you want Kraft, you're paying for the name. Because I bought Kraft, I bought these. They're literally exactly the same. There's no difference in taste at all. So, just look into maybe like shopping more of like the store brand stuff. Because 9 times out of 10, it's exactly the same. You're just paying for extra for the brand name. So got that. Like, I think I paid like $3.99 for like that cheese, and like the Kraft was on sale for $5.49. Yeah. So this was not on the list, but I figured you could always use more gnocchi. And I love, 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 love making this with just a sort of like side dish or protein of your choice. So, so good. I didn't get it, but one of my favorite things to make this with is kielbasa sausage. You cook this up, and then you you fry up slices of kielbasa sausage, and you like, so good. So, so good. That. I also, which was not on the list, I got polenta. I got the ready-made polenta. Also, same sort of thing. You slice this up, fry it. You can cube it up, put it in a soup. It's the closest thing that I have. I guess that's not close enough. It's the closest thing I can get to milho, which is like a Portuguese dish that in one of the previous vlogs you saw my sister make. It's the closest thing I can get to that without having to actually make milho myself. This is, yeah, all that's missing from here for it to be milho pretty much is the chopped up collard greens. That's about it. So, but yeah, this is really, really good. And Italians, they like cut it up and put like pasta sauce on it. I have not done that, but yeah, I like to fry it up and use it as like the side dish of your choice next to like any kind of like meat or chicken or what have you. And this was not on the list, but I got it, and there's a little reason why. I wanted something like sweet because for the most part I'm a salty girl. I have like chips and peanuts and like that kind of stuff. I always sort of like have that in my pantry because I like to snack when I'm writing or watching or reading or what have you. And I mentioned earlier that I think, was it in this vlog or was it the previous? I think it was this vlog that I mentioned the dried mango that I got from Dollarama. And they had it here at the grocery store, but they had a big bag for like $17. No, I'm not doing that. I can just go to my Dollarama next time and get a bag, a smaller bag, granted, for $2. But even if I got, like, I could get, what, like 5, 6 bags for that, for the price of that one bag at the grocery store. So, no, thank you. So, but I did want to get, like, something, like, sweet. So, I got milk chocolate covered almonds. Now, to be fair, I prefer dark chocolate, but they didn't have it where I was looking. I'm sure they could have had it like in the candy aisle, but at this point, I was by like the vegetables and the potatoes and the fruit and all that, and I didn't want to go back, so I got chocolate covered almonds. What was, again, this was on the list, and it was, I needed facial tissue, and again, store brand, because I'm not paying $3 for Royale if I don't have to. Though, to be fair, Shoppers Drug Mart does a lot of times have Royale on sale for like $1. The Royale facial tissues for like $1. But I didn't want to go to another store. So, that. This was on the list as well. I needed some fish. So I got pollock. I think it was like $7, $6, $7. And there's a bunch of them. So that's a good. This is responsibly sourced pollock. So that's good. And I think I'm gonna have that for lunch. I'm gonna put one of them defrosting and have that for lunch. And this was on the list as well. It was chicken. I needed some more chicken. So we have these are chicken thighs. They were like $6.50, and they were one of 2 trays left. So picked up those. And I think the last one, is pork chops. I got some pork chops. 6 pork chops for $9. Yeah, 6 pork chops for $9.75, $9.77. So that's I think that was it in the groceries. Yeah, that was it in the groceries. So, the Book Exchange bookstore, I am happy to report, is sort of, it's like a discount bookstore. It's not like regular price. Like, the prices are not too expensive, in my opinion, at all. I got like 5-6 books for like $50. Yep, it was around like $50. Let me show you what I got. And so, first, I got, for $2.99, I got Irwin Shaw, Beggar Man, comma, Thief. Beggar Man, Thief. And he is the author of Rich Man, Poor Man, which, again, it's those sort of like epic saga tales of like, a poor man, making it, and like his rise to power and success and that kind of thing. I like those. I prefer women stories like that. But I like, depending on, I've never tried Irwin Shaw, but I've heard a lot of good things about Rich Man, Poor Man. I know it's a miniseries as well, which I definitely want to get. And yeah, so definitely gonna check that out. I got Harold Robbins Tycoon for $3.99, and I loved the Harold Robbins miniseries. I think it's the Carpetbaggers, I think it was called, where it's Mark Harmon getting into the movie industry. Like, not Mark Harmon, but he's playing a character who, rises from like poverty and starts or like becomes part of the Hollywood studio system in the 30s. And yeah, I love that miniseries. I really need to get it to add it to my keeper shelf. But it was based on a book by Harold Robbins. So, and it's sort of like the same thing. It's like a guy, he's, making his fortune and like becoming successful. And it's like that epic kind of saga deal, which I really, really enjoy. Next, saw the movie with Sean Bean and I think it was Natasha Richardson. Loved the movie. Lady Chatterley's Lover by D.H. Lawrence. I had never read the book, so I definitely wanted to. First published in 1928. Okie dokie. So definitely wanted to read the book. There was a remake. I think there's been a couple of versions done. There was a remake done with Richard Madden and Holiday Granger. Holiday Granger, her and Richard Madden, and it was thoroughly enjoyable. But my favorite is still the Sean Bean and Natasha Richardson. I want to say Natasha Richardson. I'm 90% sure. But love that one. So definitely wanted to give the book a shot. And remember when I said when there is a book to movie adaptation, always watch the movie first? Well, I did. I watched the first movie yesterday, The Cuckoo's Calling, and look what I found! So I found it, and I definitely picked it up because I watched the movie, loved the movie, so I was interested in getting the book as well. That's what I say, and I will die on that hill. Book to movie adaptation, watch the movie first. So very much looking forward to this. So very, very, very much. And next we have Your Mouth is Lovely by I didn't realize her name was Nancy. Nancy Richler. I had not heard of this one, but looks interesting. I will go more into depth when I do my like book haul video specifically. But yeah, Your Mouth is Lovely. And finally, one of my absolute favorite poets of all time. Of all time. Pablo Neruda. And it just occurred to me that this is not a book of his poetry. Although his poetry is in here, thank God. Thank goodness. It is actually the actual his biography. So I was not. That one was $14.99. So it was a mistake, but it's okay. It's okay. We're okay. I'm sure I will enjoy this as well. I thought it was a book of his poetry. But this is what happens when you're in a bookstore and you don't pay attention because you're overwhelmed by all the awesomeness of books. So yeah. Ooh. So he actually made a documentary on Pablo Neruda as well, narrated by Isabel Allende, the author of like House of the Spirits and the Daughter of Fortune, and Isabel of My Soul or something or other that I bought recently. She narrated it. So yeah. So looking forward to reading this. So that is what I got. Very, very happy with all that. So those books all together, $43.52. So not even $50. $43.52. So I call that a definite good use of the money that I work for. yeah, so going to start my lunch, thinking that I'm going to make some fish and some rice probably. And then the plan, I think I mentioned, was to finish up the last 10 pages of Ruth by Elizabeth Gaskell. Watch the second, if not third as well, of the CB Strike series, the Silkworm, and the next one under that is Career of Evil. And edit the vlog for last week. And I don't think I'm gonna start editing the Supernatural Day 2 convention thing. I think I'm just gonna like take it easy for the rest of the day. Just like read and just watch some movies. Depending on like we'll see how when I finish the last week's vlog. And yeah. It's back to the evil day job tomorrow. And but we have a holiday on Monday. So we're closed on Monday. So yay. And I think that is, I don't know, everything's going to be closed on that Monday. So I don't know if I'm actually going to go anywhere, or I might just stay home and do my reaction for Lost, Season 4, Episode 3. Yeah, maybe. We'll see. We'll see. But for the rest of the night, that's sort of the plan. And yeah,